1 month after the demon attack, the academy has calmed back down. Saikyou tries being friendly with Amu, but she acts cold toward him and completely ignores him. As Saikyou and Ada walking to class, there is a pot above them that suddenly spills, but Saikyou manages to teleport out of the way. Professor Cordell apologizes for spilling the pot, explaining that it is a special mixture of monster blood and minerals that he is using for his research. He was trying to move it with his magic but ended up spilling it. He apologizes once again and heads on his way. Saikyou and Effa get to their next class. Their professor tells them that the founding anniversary is coming up, so she needs the top 2 students, Amu and Effa, to help out with a ritual. The professor explains that they need to take the new student roster to a temple in the forest and have it blessed. Saikyou thinks it could be dangerous, having fought the demon there. He asks what would happen if one of the students declined, and the professor tells him he would be next in line. Hearing this, he orders Effa to give up her spot. The other students are shocked, but Saikyou says that such an important ritual shouldn't be carried out by a slave. After class, he apologizes to Effa, and she realizes that he was trying to take the attention of Amu, who people had started to resent after her performance against the demons. She wonders if Amu is his type, but Saikyou says he just wants to be her friend since she is the strongest. Effa gets jealous hearing this, saying that she can also become strong, but Saikyou tells her to imagine being so strong that she is both praised and feared by everyone. A few days later, Seek is handed the roster and he heads off into the forest with Amu. Amu is suspicious of him, thinking he is trying to hit on her even when he already has Effa. Saikyou tells her it's all a misunderstanding, and he has nothing going on with Effa. Amu's head suddenly hurts and Saikyou notices a magic circle. They think it's strange and it suddenly activates, transporting them into a dungeon. They are engaged by 3 lizardmen, but Amu rushes at them using her fireball, and taking them out in an instant. An ogre appears behind her, but Saikyou summons a wood pillar and crushes its head. Amu finds his spell to be strange, but Saikyou plays it off as a spell he learned being a noble. They start exploring the dungeon, and Saikyou lights the way using his talismans. He leaves a trail, sticking talismans to the ceiling, and Yuki wonders what he is doing. He explains that he is leaving a trail so that his Shikigami on the surface can hopefully find him and help them get out of the dungeon. Yuki suddenly notices more monsters approaching. Amu charges at them once again, but as she fights, her head hurts and she gets knocked out. Saikyou rushes to help her, using his wooden stakes to impale all the monsters, but there are just too many. Seeing that Amu is passed out, he summons a giant centipede, which is able to take out the rest of the monsters. When Amu wakes up, she is surprised all the monsters are dead. Her head hurts again but feels better when Saikyou puts up a barrier. He tells her his barrier can block curses, and he wonders when she started getting the headaches. She says that it was ever since she enrolled at the academy, but doesn't think it's a curse because she hasn't noticed any marks. Saikyou says there are some places she can't see, which concerns her, but she ends up stripping down so he can check her body. They don't find any marks, but Saikyou says it could be hidden in other ways. Seeing as the barrier stops the effect, they can assume she is cursed. Amu wonders if she will have to stay in the barrier forever, but using a strand of her hair, Saikyou is able to create a substitute for her. The two get to know each other better and Amu wonders about his relationship with Effa, saying that she is in love with him. But Saikyou says they are just family, which Amu finds amusing for a noble to call his slave his family. But Saikyou tells her how he was always treated like an outsider, and Effa was the only one who treated him normally. Amu talks about our own family, but it seems to be a sensitive topic, so Saikyou asks her what she likes to do. She says that she likes to fight. She's loved fighting ever since she was young, but her parents found this weird, because most people would be scared of getting hurt or dying. She was even a part of a party that got wiped out, but she wanted more and everyone thought there was something wrong with her. She came to the academy so that she could get stronger, hoping that if she became the strongest, fighting would get boring and she could be more normal. But after fighting with the demons she had too much fun, so she thinks there is something wrong with her. But Saikyou tells her she isn't weird, and she thanks him for letting her vent. Saikyou finds the exit to the dungeon and the two continue on through the dungeon. They come to the boss room, and find a gigantic Nada monster. It spits acid on its Saikyou, but Amu distracts it with her wetlands, and Saikyou summons a metal spirit to pin it down. Amu uses her fireball, causing a chain reaction and explosion. Amu takes the opening, and stabs it in the head, finishing it off. After the battle, Amu hugs Saikyou. Overjoyed, they manage to take out a dungeon boss. They head to the treasure room where they find a metal sword, which Saikyou gives to Amu, and Saikyou gets a magical ring. The two finally manage to escape, and they report everything back to the professor. She didn't know there was a dungeon under the temple, and because the magic circle is gone, they aren't able to find the culprit. However, Saikyou pays a visit to Professor Cordell. After the demon attack and getting sent to the dungeon, Saikyou realized there must have been an inside man. The professor is surprised, thinking he had gotten rid of any evidence. Saikyou tells him to reveal his true form, but he is actually just a human working for the demons. Looking at his ritual, Saikyou calls him a genius. Cordell is proud of himself, revealing it's a curse that uses light magic to kill its target from a distance, under the guise of an illness. He starts gloating about how he will kill Amma with it, but Saikyou points out how he is protecting her. The curse is targeting those who were covered in demon blood, because Amma had killed all the demons, but Saikyou summons the demon that he captured and covers himself with its blood. He becomes a target of the curse, but using a counter-curse technique from his past life, he is able to send the curse back to the professor. The professor feels the effects, and starts bleeding out. Saikyou is actually impressed he developed a curse from scratch in this world, but as an exorcist, curses are his specialty. After the encounter, Yuki wonders how he knew the professor was the culprit, and it turns out that his Shikigami found pollen on him, which was only from flowers near the magic circle. Having solved this problem, he hopes he can finally get back to being a normal student. He gives Effa the magic ring, which helps her with attracting the elemental spirits. He tries being friendly with Amu, but to his surprise, she still acts coldly towards him, but has somehow warmed up toward Effa, and he is left confused about when they became friends. But that's where this anime ends. As always, if you like what you see, subscribe to the channel,